MakingStarWars.net.
Hey, YouTube.gov. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today I have a little bit of cool stuff to show you before we get going with the regular show. And that's that a friend of mine in Los Angeles who deals in photos and rare Hollywood memorabilia and that kind of jazz kicked a couple of photos to me that he found. And the first is from, or all three of them really, are from a cut sequence from A New Hope. And you might have heard of this moment perhaps in the Star Wars Insider article, Star Wars The Lost Cut. And right here you can see Han, Luke, and Leia are on the Death Star. They're walking towards some Imperial officers, and looks like they are probably screwed. They're about to be found out. And then they don't even notice because they pretend to pretty much be stormtroopers, just like they're supposed to be there. And the oblivious Imperial officers just continue walking as if nothing happened. And then they bone out. And that right there is a scene I have never seen footage from. If anybody's seen it leak anywhere, please let me know. I would love to see it. I've never seen it. I've only seen one photo of it from T-Bone Star Wars Universe from the cutscene section. And so that about wraps up what happens there, but cool to see more photos from it after all of these years. How's it going, Mr. Rob?
T-Bones. Man,
T-Bone.
you bring it back my internet, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
You bring it, like, everyone's like, Rob talks about the military so much. Check, bingo card. But T-Bone, man, that's when, remember the anti-Schumacher website, the anti-Schumacher bat site? Like, yeah, that was the days of people were so mad at the Joel Schumacher Batman. See, the anti-Schumacher website. It was as pathetic as it sounds, but yeah, I loved it.
in a really strange way, T-Bone is sort of important to my trajectory, if you will. He was this guy that had all the spoilers for the prequels, all the best leaks ever came from him. I used to follow his site, and then I went to Celebration in 1999 on May 3rd. We went to Toys R Us to get our Phantom Menace toys, and as we're heading over, he's there in line. He's not there yet. He's at Celebration. He's like, "We're going over to Toys R Us." I'm like, "We're going to Toys R Us." He's like, "We should meet up there." So we did. And I just hung out with the dude, and I didn't really ask him about the spoiler stuff too much. I was just like, "Hey, how did you make that cool Darth Maul picture?" He had this Darth Maul picture that formed or something. I can't remember. It was a early internet stuff. And I was like, "That's amazing." And
you know what we should do sometime, Jason, when we have a no news day? We should go on the Wayback Machine and just dig up all the old Star Wars sites.
His site's T-Bone's still up, dude. We're going there now.
Right, but let's actually dig up the ones from whatever's still working on the way back, so you can go see the shitty layouts and all that fun stuff.
I wonder if we could find my website from high school. I think it was called GeoCities.Journal of the Wills.
Did you have the rotating cube that we wanted to turn into a holocron? Did you have the 3D?
It definitely had a little under construction sign on it.
Oh, the under construction.
But here we go. Back in time. Yellow text on black. I'm not going to hold this against T-Bone today. But this is an artifact. This is how websites used to look. We didn't know any better.
It's themed to Star Wars, right? Because it's yellow text.
I used the yellow text on the featured image for this today. So I'm still making the same mistakes. It never looks good.
No matter how bad something may look, if you give it 20 years, it's nostalgic. Doesn't matter what it is, it's great.
I reached out to T-Bone and I was like, "Hey dude, I got these pictures. I've never seen it before." He's like, "Yeah, actually it's in the Lost Cut. I got a picture and he gave me the link to this." And then
nice.
and I was like, "Cool." So there was actually one picture out there. The other ones I don't believe are, to the best of my knowledge. I don't want to overstate it, but like I said, this was a really curious find for me over the last month, and I was like, trying to find the footage. I talked to a couple of old Star Wars people, and they were like, I've seen this before. And I'm like, but have you, or have you just seen the picture from the Lost Cut article, maybe in Star Wars Insider? But I couldn't find the a copy of the Lost Cut article in its entirety. But old man T-Bone, who we should have old man T-Bone on just to talk about his experiences back then. I'm sure nobody could get in trouble in this day and age. I think it's like he's to that point I dream of being at someday, where I could talk about my misadventures. But about the Lost Cut, this was the first edit of Star Wars, edited not by George Lucas, but by John Jimson. Sounds like a fake name, doesn't it? John Jimson.
It's definitely like a Mad Magazine fake, the fake readers column.
Yeah, like you're doing a prank call and it was just the name that came out of your mouth. His parents were probably outlaws, like his ancestors, and they just made that name up just like that. All right, this version of Star Wars, according to an article in Star Wars Insider number 41 by David West Reynolds, contains about 30 to 40% different footage from the final version. There are scenes that have never been seen elsewhere, as well as alternate takes of scenes we know from the finished version. So I think, and he's going to get into the Behind the Magic CD-ROM here in a minute. I think between the Behind the Magic CD-ROM and the some of the end of George Lucas's career documentaries, we started to see like the rear projection footage scenes and stuff like out there. But that cut, no. To this day, the Lost Cut has been seen by very few eyes. But recently, a large section of the footage from the cantina was included in the Behind the Magic CD-ROM, along with the Biggs and Luke cutscenes. So this is how old this article is. We now have those scenes in pretty good quality, relatively speaking. Also, a few short snippets from the Lost Cut were used in the Star Wars Holiday Special to introduce the Life on Tatooine segment from the film. Other than these small glimpses, the Lost Cut remains an intriguing but unseen artifact to most of us. And then so he has a link to the cut scenes. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we have this one now. The Sandcrawler pre-special effects, Vader and Bass discuss the princess. Yeah, this was put into the holiday special. I think it was like redubbed. The dialogue was like redubbed for the holiday special sequence. Aunt Beru's blue milk dispenser. Right here, we've seen this come out since then. Yeah. This rear projection stuff in the documentaries from the Blu-ray, maybe the 2011 Blu-ray. Luke outside Ben's hut. Gotta say, I got no love for the original Ben's hut. That's what's one of the special edition scenes. That his new house, much cooler.
It's Tunisian.
It's Tunisian. I think that's actually still be standing.
By way of Macquarie. Yeah. It lasted. Lasted longer than a Trump hotel. That's all I can say.
Oh, hey. Luke opts not to install the restraining bolts. Mos Eisley Cannon pre-effects. The busy streets of Mos Eisley. The Flash Gordon versus the Split Monster. That's in the holiday special. You can see that it's like a little like real moment, newsreel moment.
I love that good and the bad, the ugly fucking moment, dude. It's so good.
We got Han making out with his lady, Jenny.
Yeah. The
princess is led away after seeing Alderaan destroyed. And all right, right here, this is the only photo I know of. Our heroes nonchalantly stroll past two officers. So this one right here, you can see this is like this photo is different than the one. I mean, this is like the color version of it.
They're just a touch too stupid.
Touch too stupid.
It's like, I mean, look, had that made the cut, I couldn't complain about Kenobi trying to hide a girl in his. Maybe Kenobi remembers the alternate cut though. We don't remember that. Wait, this takes place before that doesn't hold up. But yeah. No, I was gonna talk about that. I was like, that gag from Kenobi that people got mad about. Oh boy, it could have been worse for what it's worth or not. But I imagine that's something Lucas would have been like, oh, who left this in? This is
I'm curious about the moment itself, because there were times like where Death Star stuff started getting filmed by Kasdan. Kasdan started doing second unit shooting when they got really, really behind. And some of that second unit shooting is in the movie. Like, when they're on the Death Star, there's like this like moment where like 3PO's like, come on, R2 or something like that. And then like you see like his like little leg come out, his little third tripod foot come out. If you look at that scene like on the Blu-ray, it looks like a new movie, because when they were setting it up, they set it up like it was a new movie and not how George Lucas was doing it in that documentary style. So it actually doesn't really match, but it looks really good. There's times when I wish the movie did look like that. When I'm like kind of want that polished look, that upgraded polished look. That's when I'm like, man, had they shot it like that, it would look pretty good today. Because now that it's old, it already has that documentary kind of feel to it, just by the very nature of being old. But I like a little bit of grain. I'm not dissing it.
I really think more productions would benefit from it, and my proof is the Batman.
The Batman,
Greg Fraser and them. Even when he worked with so many different lenses that the visual effects team went back when they would do complete CGI, fill-in shots and stuff. Mm-hmm. They went and would shoot all their plate elements with anamorphic lenses and different types of lenses to recreate those effects and that distortion and that noise and everything. And then when it got done, it got printed onto film and then scanned back in so it would have noise. And I just think like that is the standard. Like it's digital, it's beautiful, but it has a little bit of texture. And you take that texture out, shit just feels cheap, man. I
do that with my music that I use a lot of distortion and synths on, especially when it like that combination of them. You go and then you put it to analog, or you run it through some analog effects, print it to tape, and then record that back. And then that saturation that it gives just gives the recording more energy and life. So I could see that.
I forgot. Visually. I was getting into a little Batman off, a bat off
with
a buddy. Yeah,
wait, before I forget, yesterday was Batman the animated series' 30th anniversary, and we were talking about it still like it was new.
That's why I was having this conversation with my friend, and it just popped back on my head. So I go, all right, tell me, what's the first movie Hans Zimmer ever did music on for Batman? What's the first Batman movie Hans Zimmer ever did music on?
How old is he? Was it the original Batman, the 66? Was he around then? I don't know how old he is. He feels ancient.
I'm not helping you triangulate the answers, Jason. You're gonna have to.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Han Solo, not Hans Zimmer.
You're gonna appreciate this. He worked on. He did all the synthesizer work on Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, okay.
So anytime you hear the synthesizer stuff in that movie, it's him. And if I'm correct, a lot of that's the Joker's theme. So the first time he's doing a Joker's theme, he's playing the keys for Shirley. Shirley Walker she was like the person who got like everyone in. I know. No, the composer. But she's the one who got everyone into like, she got so many people and they all went on to get more acclaim than her. It's a real goddamn shame. I mean, so many. Like I don't have a list, but I mean, you don't get Elfman without Shirley Walker. There's a ton of people you don't get without Shirley Walker. So she's probably the great unsung.
Familiar. Is she still around? Is she still composing?
No, she passed like a couple years ago or something. Yeah. And so it was like when she passed, it was like people were coming out going, she's actually got a lot of people in this industry, like, and it's just because, it's a man's world, right? Like they were going to just replace her with someone else on Batman Beyond, right? Because they wanted that like 9 Inch Nail sound. And she heard about it. She was like, I can do that. And they're like, can you? She was like, yeah, I don't just play one thing. Like, why don't you just let me try? So she had to try for the thing she invented, the Batman cartoons, 10 years later. Oh, look, she can do it. Yeah, congratulations, so whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so Hans Zimmer was on Mask of the Phantasm.
Well, it's like, you're just like, you want some Batman music, and then they get on their period and it's all emotional. It's not Batman anymore, I mean, come on, right, boys?
That's Prince.
Prince. Shit. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's weird. Like, that's fucked up. But hopefully, not that it's gonna help her personally, but hopefully she gets the recognition like over time, with her legacy.
It's one of those things where like if a Batman proper movie ever fucking wins another Oscar for music or so, I really wish they would do like a real bit there or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
the Oscars should just do something in general. Here's someone that we missed the fucking mark on. You know who's not with us anymore? Shirley Walker would be way up on that list for me.
Yeah. So, chat, what's your favorite Star Wars fun fact? What's your favorite weird? Do you have a weird one? I want to know. My favorite weird one is the Tauntauns in The Empire Strikes Back. For the little tiny models, they couldn't get hair that was to scale for the tiny models, and I think it was that weirdo Phil Tippett that we love figured out that if you got a baby calf that had died inside of its mother when they slaughtered the cow pregnant, that hair was small enough and fine enough that they can put it onto the Tauntauns.
1,000% that's Phil Tippett.
And how many bodies are in Phil Tippett's basement right now is the question that we should be asking.
Look, all I'm saying is I haven't seen Rick McCallum in 20 years. Have you? Has anybody?
It's like, you told George about the CG. I know it was you.
Yeah. You hired spares. Spares.
No excuse, Seth. No excuses. Think harder. But yeah. Anyways, what's up, KG? How are you? And thanks everybody for liking the video. Man, today we went with A New Hope title on the video, and boy, nobody turns up for that. We should drop some huge spoilers right now and just really make it weird.
No one shows up for OG Star Wars anymore, bro. They all want it to look like OG Star Wars, but they're not showing up for it.
Yeah. Let me okay, because you guys are completely failing me in the chat. So D23 is about what? So on basically Saturday is when we're going to have the actual event where we get the meat of what we want to know, if there is anything to know. Do you guys think they will announce anything about Taika's movie, the premise, the title, or option? There's three options that I'm going to give. Option number 2, it's a whole different movie, something else that's going to completely leapfrog it, because the Taika movie was supposed to be a 2025 kind of deal originally, and maybe something else that they kind of a concept that they could just fast track is going to take over and will be announced. Or option number 3, they don't say a fucking thing about movies and they just keep it to Disney Plus content. I'm hoping.
Well, D23 is going to say something about movies. It's where they do all the Marvel reveals and stuff. So they'll have an Indiana Jones presence. Yeah. I just think Star Wars wise, like, if I'm going to go on they're not saying shit.
Yeah, I'm going to go on the not saying shit.
It might in my mind, it's like a 51 to 49% ratio. It's not clear. But I'm going to cite on them saying nothing, because I don't think they have anything. They don't have nothing to report until we have something to report,
Yeah.
It actually holds true with this one. Because what are they going to say? He's writing the script. We already heard about that. I don't know what they're supposed to.
Yeah, that's the thing is when you go to D23, like in that presentation, bombs, like entertainment bombs, are being dropped continually. So you can't just go in. Taika's doing a Star Wars. Yeah, we know.
And giving us a date with a bunch of Star Wars films don't count. I'm sorry. I don't go, look, to give us a date, because with Star Wars, I don't mean shit.
If they give you a date, they gave you a hope, a new hope. That's it.
Look, even this point, they gave us a whole video with Patty Jenkins, and it didn't really matter. So, like,
oh no, she was on rollerblades. That's how we knew they weren't serious.
You think she had just saw that Licorice Pizza movie, and then she was like, yeah, brought my skates.
I think she saw how stupid adults look on rollerblades. I don't think she saw that. I don't think she saw that coming.
Yeah, my mom was a rollerblader.
Yeah, nobody.
Like, I always felt rollerbladers were great for Streets of Rage. That's about it.
God, rollerblade kids. They were like, I remember the rollerblade kids. They didn't like any cool music, didn't have any cool opinions. And then about 6 months later, they were all dressing like the Columbine kid, listening to 9 Inch Nails, wearing rollerblades. And I was just like, fuck all of this culture. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in rollerblades. Roller skates, bring it back. Roller girl, love you, girl. Rollerblades, no. Blade the movie, not a fan. Didn't care. Blade 2 was like eating pussy. Ain't it cool news.com. Since we're doing throwbacks, remember that shit?
I do remember that movie. And I do like that movie. You know, man, the to speak a little bit about D23, and since we mentioned Marvel shit, like my favorite like retcon on the internet is when people have to go, because of Blade doing well, that paved the way for all the Marvel films. And I'm like, look, man, I love to give a person of color the credit they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't it. Like, that was not marketed as a comic book movie. Nobody knew it was a comic book movie. I was the only motherfucker in theaters. Really made its money on video. You know what I mean? Like Wesley Snipes kind of like after Demolition Man, they didn't really take him to. He had something else I want to say in between there. You know, wasn't on the high streak at that point. You know.
No, it was like his big movies from memory were like White Men Can't Jump, Passenger. Was he Passenger 57?
Yeah. Or my personal favorite, which gets no fucking love, The Money Train.
Money Train was good. With Jennifer Lopez. Back when
Jennifer, Chris Cooper's in this fucking movie, Chris bro. Cooper's in that, yeah. Love The Money. That's my jam. I can leave The Money Train on a loop, you know. So it's just I love it, but I don't know, man. Like, it's just weird watching that sort of like the movie that paved it was Spider-Man. After Spider-Man, like you could say X-Men, but I was the only one who came out going that was cool. All my X-Men friends were like it was dumb. So I don't know about all that. You know, it made all right money, but Spider-Man's the one that I'll never forget. We used to go to this movie theater in Spring Valley, and in the middle of the night, you know, they always have to do that thing at a movie theater where they play the reel once to test it. The camera guy, at least they did at this theater, the camera guy would let in people from the neighborhood to watch the film for free, right? If you knew. So we'd go in and be me, like, you know, my buddy, maybe like 4 or 5 other people, no big deal. And even through Lord of the Rings, it was super chill. You could go in there, and it was great because it's a minority neighborhood, so you get a totally different experience.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying. It's like, dude, Spider-Man hit, the whole fucking city showed up. Like the police had like, what is everyone here for? The owners of the theater like, what's going on? And that's when I was like, oh, big difference. You know, like this is like the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Bespin
didn't tell me he published this, that piece of shit. Exclusive video, Bo-Katan from yesterday. What the fuck, Bespin? What are you doing? And when are we going to play fucking multiverse? Bo-Katan fights fellow Mandalorian on set of Mandalorian season 3. He said fellow. He made it sound really jovial. Back in March, we get Bespin Bulletin, as if he's trying to make himself sound like he's Legion. It's him. You are Bespin Bulletin. We are able to look
reports.
Oh no. We the legions of MakingStarWars.net will read the Bespin Bulletin's report. Okay. We are able to locate the Mandalorian season 3 in Long Beach, California. We saw multiple scenes play out from afar. During the month, we shared various images and revealed that we spotted the return of Simon Casanades, who also plays Axe Woves alongside Katie Sackhoff. Axe Woves was the name that George Lucas suggested for Grogu. We also captured.
I'm a big fan of Guns N' Roses.
No, little Grogu's name being Axe would be so fucking cool. Like George was so much more right than Grogu. We just called him Axe. That's so fucking rad.
All right, well, then we'd be going on. No, people would be saying, "Is he related to Mace? Is he related to Mace?"
Yeah, it has a Gremlins vibe though. We also captured footage of scenes playing out, which you can see below. All right, so let's hit play on this video here. So right there, we can see, hey, stop sacking off and fight him, sack off.
Yeah.
All right, Axe Wolves, you're in trouble.
There you go.
Oh, you kicked my titty. You're going to jail. You're going to Mandalorian jail. Film this. Film this. He hit me. He touched me. Film this. Put it on the internet. Fuck, she's a Karen. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, she did. Oh, yeah, he did kick her. He did kick her. Oh, he's canceled.
Did he spit on her?
Canceled.
Did he spit on her?
Yeah,
it's questionable.
But
Harloff runs in.
Whoa.
To defend her honor. What?
So this is filmed over at the Long Beach area where they just set up a lot of green screen stuff from what Bestman has said. As you can see from the video,
hold out. From an industry point of view, it rehabilitated Marvel's normalized comics in Hollywood. Spider-Man did, but Blade didn't do shit.
Yeah. I mean,
and by the way, like man, dude, you know how hard it was to get people to see Blade 2? And I love Blade 2, but man, it was so fucking hard, dude. It was all of us reading Ain't It Cool News were the ones that showed up, and even then we're like, so they didn't let any of the team really fight? It's ridiculous. Yeah, whatever.
Well, I mean, I don't want to pay taxes either, so I know where Blade's coming from. The Mandalorian, she's fighting bears a resemblance to wolves, but as does the man behind her, so we can't say if wolves is an enemy or an ally in the scene. Though she's not in the video we posted, an actress in Mandalorian gear bearing a resemblance to Sasha Banks' Casca Reeves was also seen on set. Man, my poor boy Bespin, he was chasing this shit down, the Casca Reeves thing. And I don't think we ever got the definitive proof on that.
To be fair, someone told him it was about Costco.
Yeah,
he just got real excited.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Costco Reeves. He brings those Polish hot dogs that are so good.
Kielbasa.
Man, yeah. Me and a girl I used to date, we used to go there to get the pizza, but then they made it where you had to have a membership, and we said no. So we broke up. Anyways, but we didn't get as good of a look at the performer as we did Casanades and the unmissable Katie Sackhoff. Banks has previously claimed in the fall of last year that she would not be appearing in the third season of the hit Disney Plus series. But as we know, actors attached to Star Wars have a tendency to lie to keep secrets of the production, and Banks is no different. Yeah, they don't know what to do. So, yeah, right here we can see some of the photos. No matter what Bo-Katan appears to be facing off against, a fellow Mandalorian, a Mandalorian in what appears to be Night Owl's colors. One theory that springs to mind is perhaps there's Mandalorians that secretly work for the Empire. As we know, Moff Gideon was the ruler of Mandalore by being the owner of the Darksaber before Din Djarin took possession of the weapon. So, well, also, I mean, you should probably add in there, Mr. Bespin, my report that he wears a Mandalorian helmet, which is going to probably change things up because he either stole the helmet or he's actually a Mandalorian too. And we're going to learn that he's a Mandalorian who is in the Empire, which is, or became an Imperial, which would be super fucking weird.
In Bespin's defense, though, Jason, not all of us remember every fucking little thing.
Oh, he does. He does. Okay. He just trying to spite me. He's trying to destroy me, Rob.
like my former art director I'm friends with, he's one of those guys that's just a meticulous mind for every little fucking note he's ever given. And I'm like, I listen to him, but then they go right in the delete bin. Like it's that Kelly Bundy. There's only so much room up in here, all the other information has to make way for the new information. It's not growing, So I'm always impressed with those who could just have recall like that. My head's the stuff that's stuck in there, Jason, is Hans Zimmer who synthesizers on the
any chance this could be for Ahsoka? No, this was during this. Bespin had this back months ago, like when they were filming Mando. I didn't know. Nobody told me. I would have covered it yesterday. Yesterday was like we had like no news, and I was like, I didn't hear it, so I thought, I didn't think to check because usually you're like, hey, dummy, unless you did, and I just don't remember.
Yeah, we're literally in the calm before the storm. That you could feel it every time there's a new series come up. There's this It's like, oh, this is that dead zone. We've done 2 series as we've been doing the show, and there is this dead zone right before a series hits. That's my personal favorite, where we can just talk about whatever and get away with it, and all the counts go down, but they were going down anyways, so it doesn't matter. Can't blame Rob.
Yeah. No, you didn't send it to me. I didn't get it. I did not get it. Let me see. I'm double checking here. I mean, I'm that kind of girlfriend, just so you know. No, you did not send it to me. I got Chris Pine getting spit on.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah.
I saw a video where it didn't look like he did that at all, so I don't know, man. Like, that one's so circumstantial.
I was cracking up at the fucking geniuses on Reddit saying that the video could be a copyright claim. You think you can't? There's no copyright claim from a third-party video. That's so fucking stupid.
Nothing would make me happier than for an actor and another actor to get into a straight fist fight at a premiere. Like, I hold no stake in this game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but when I saw that front view where it looked like he may have done that, then I'm like, man, that may be at most a gleek. But normally when you get gleeked on, like, as a kid who used to get spit on all the time in high and junior high, like you normally go to the spot. And so then there's another shot behind where it doesn't look like that at all. It just looks like he didn't recognize him. So he held out his hand and ignored him and sat down. So he was like, that's what it looked like to me. But what do I know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, it would have been great if he did spit on him and then Pine just fucking Kirk punches him right there. Goes full on Kirk and just pa-pa!
Yeah. Well, the geniuses at Reddit just don't understand that yet. How this works, that it was a public park where the person was legally filming, and but
when's the last time you watched The Big Lebowski?
But I bet if it was a Star Wars Newsnet exclusive report, it would be okay. That's just a feeling I tend to have.
Next time you watch The Big Lebowski, the scene where they're delivering Donnie's ashes, right? They're at the I don't know, some fucking beach area. If you look to your right in one shot, you can see hikers. And those aren't extras. They're just people who walked on to fucking blah blah blah. And they're like, we're not reshooting this for that. I mean, it helped, but you could tell they're normal people. They move like normal people. They're having normal people shit.
Yeah.
And that's called you're out in the middle of fucking a public space, bro. That's how it works.
As a child, I walked onto the Bette Midler set for The Boys. Remember that movie? They were filming it at Vasquez Rocks, and I went there with some friends. And,
I was hoping for a Bette Midler cameo in the Captain America movie when he was in World War II, doing the USO tour and shit. I really was like, this would be really. Let Bette Midler play Peggy Carter's mom. This would be great. Or bring back Willie Scott. That was my other. Big fucking thing. Get a Willie Scott cameo. Nothing.
Yeah.
No fun.
Tyrant says, be cool if he's a collector of sorts, as he was as he has pre-Vizslas helmet. And in the process of collecting these things, he got absorbed into the Mando culture. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely going to be, I think, some spin to it. I mean, it's either going to be fully, like a cultural appropriation kind of in the Star Wars universe thing where he's just straight up stealing their shit or saying I'm one of you, or it's going to be, like he is one. And that's why he's led the charge. And maybe he would be interesting if he had his own ulterior motive that was to actually restore Mando, but in his fascist regime style, in his ethics, as opposed to say
we're talking about the Christopher Lloyd guy. Is that who we're talking about?
No, we're talking about Chicken Man.
Oh, Giancarlo.
Yeah. Esposito.
He's an Usual Suspect.
Really?
Yeah, watch that movie again sometime.
Oh yeah. Is he just like a? I imagine he looks like the singer.
He's in the police side.
Wait,
he's one of the cops or whatever.
What year is that movie? 87?
Usual Suspects? No,
Wait,
man,
Usual
97, 98-ish,
Usual
96. I
Suspects?
think they shot in
Okay.
96. Yeah, 90. Yeah, it's around there.
1995. 1995.
95. Okay, got me.
Yeah.
I get it confused with Fargo in terms of the release.
I
Because I used to have a little globe, a Fargo globe they gave out at one of the premieres I went to, and someone stole it. Made me mad.
So does young Giancarlo look like the singer from Fine Young Cannibals? She drives me crazy. And I can't help Mandalore. Something like that, maybe?
I always thought he just looked like a young Cab Calloway.
Oh.
Got that same deal going on there.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Wait. Giancarlo Esposito. Okay, well, I want to look up young Giancarlo. Is it said Giancarlo? Like, is that how you say his name? I don't really know.
Young one word.
All right. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's this picture of him, and it looks like he is ready to sell. No, I don't want. Fuck you in fucking Pinterest. Suck it, Pinterest. You're a piece of shit. I hate Pinterest. Everything about you sucks, Pinterest.
And web.p files or whatever the fuck that is too. I hate those.
I know. Yeah, that needs to stop too. But anyways, it looks like he's ready to sell Theo Huxtable some grass.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I wonder if he was on another world. You know what I mean? I always wonder. Like, I haven't looked up his full. Yeah. I love the denim.
Yeah. It's like he could have been a Lando Calrissian, but instead he decided to be a tyrant.
I know it's gotten all the rage. It's gotten all the rage in the last couple of weeks because you had mentioned it. But for years I've been saying this dude should be Professor Xavier, only because I want that photo in the fucking school up on the wall.
Wait, this photo?
Yeah, I want that photo because he would have founded it when he was younger. So that's what he found. He founded it when he looked like that. And now look at him. Yeah.
I like how he just like is going to conventions, leaking who's writing stuff for their other games and shit. Like, what are you thinking, dude? I doubt he had permission to do that. They got to be like, dude, you can just shut up.
You need to shut up. You can't be talking about meetings you took and what you'd be willing to do. All that shit needs to stop. Yeah.
Jedi Chris
his agent should be telling him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
They're
Will says, okay, Blade made more money than Spidey 1.
What are you talking about?
But you're right. Marvel made more on Spidey.
What do you mean Blade made more money than Spider-Man 1? It broke 100 million opening weekend. Will, what are you doing? Yeah. You remember how all the kids were dressed up like Blade that year? All the video games that came out. Remember all that? Remember all the fucking macaroni and cheese ads with Blade on it because it was such a big fucking hit? Get the fuck out of here.
You just jogged my memory. I was living in my studio apartment and I was eating macaroni and cheese, and there used to be an ad that used to come on TV, and it used to say, "Do you want to be in the new Spider-Man? Do you want to meet Randy Macho Man Savage?" And it was just like down the street, because they were filming like that scene like down the street from me in this like hangar or something, like down Lakewood Boulevard, I think, maybe. But I should have done it. It would have been kind of cool if I was there, but I didn't do it. Blade made 131 bucks
globally over its whole lifetime. Spider-Man fucking, are you fucking, Spider-Man made that its fucking opening weekend. I don't know, man. Like, it made like, bro, I was listening to Howard Stern, and it was the first time a movie had broken 100 million opening weekend. Yeah, it did 60 fucking million here and 70 there, and you could cut 70 up into 3 with the way international works. Yeah, you're out your fucking mind, Will. Like, I don't know what you're just forget numbers. Guys, you were all there. Remember all the Blade fucking action figures that year? Remember?
I don't know.
You gotta remember late 90s, early 2000s marketing, Jason, right? The second something made money, there was always fucking merchandise would show up to support it. Even Batman and Robin had a merchandise campaign post failure of that movie. Yeah. You know, like fucking, there was Turbo Man toys, and that movie did nothing. like to show you how insignificant Blade was.
Yeah,
people forgot it even come out until it was on video. That's the reality. And I loved it. But beyond the opening scene, it's an entirely forgettable film.
I got to be honest with you. Like it feels to me in my memory, in terms of just like cultural relevance. See, I would say it feels like the 13th Warrior or something. Just one of those movies that came out.
Which one had the higher reach with hardcore fans? Spider-Man No Way Home. Just put the first Spider-Man in its movie and it made $2 billion. What do you think? Look, I love fucking... who's the actor from that's playing the new Blade? I forget his fucking name. One was on the Green Book. Fucking amazing actor. He was in Luke Cage is the villain, right? He's playing Blade. It's not gonna make $2 billion, you know. And if you put Wesley Snipes in it, it's not gonna make $2 billion. Like it's just not. Like guys,
I don't know.
It's just not. There's more love for X-Men. Yeah. At this point, I'm gonna tell you right now. There's more love for Jim Carrey returning as the Joker than there is Blade.
I don't know, man. I always bet on black.
Marshall Ali, right? Marshall Ali, yeah.
Oh no! Don't say that around George. Don't say that around George. He'll think you're talking about Marsha.
George is taking a break today because Rob's voice hurts, but he's taking notes. Yeah, look, I love Blade, but you guys are out your fucking mind. You know, like it's just crazy how they're like, this paved the way. I wish it were true. It just isn't. Matter of fact, it was so insignificant that people weren't even anticipating X-Men. It was really Ain't It Cool News that did X-Men a lot of favors on that news cycle. You know what I mean? You know, and I even signed up. I was even subscribed to the stupid newsletter you can get from the senator. They had that one of those early like campaigns where if you signed up, the evil senator from X-Men would send you a fucking it looked like a front page. Like they made it look like a newspaper, you know, like the Daily Bugle, but it wasn't the Daily Bugle. And it'd have clippings about mutant blah 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 blah. Like that's how much of a nerd I was in. You know? Like, yeah. No one was there. I saw Spawn in the theater twice. Don't argue with me.
I went to a Weezer show, and Weezer shows at that time, it was cute Asian girl city. That's what Weezer shows like were. And I met the most wholesome, nice girl. And then we're talking on the phone, and she's like, there's a new X-Men movie. And I was like, yeah, I'll take you to see it. And she's like, okay. And then she's all, I gotta tell you something. And she's like, I'm probably like 20, and I think she's 19. She's like, I've never kissed before. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay. And I was like, I'll kiss you. Rogue. She's like, if it's right. And I'm like, okay, whatever that means. And then so she's like, I'll pick you up. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So she shows up with her friend. And I was like, am I supposed to fucking pay for this fucking baggage over here to the movie too? Like, how does this work? You know? And so I got up there, I fucking bought 2 tickets, and I made her buy her own ticket.
You dolt. Oh, good one. I thought you meant you bought. Never mind.
Not buying the friend a ticket too. I mean, you know, we ended up dating for a little while. We ended up going to Vegas and stealing money out of fountains and gambling with that. It was a pretty good time. You could actually do that. Nobody stops you. Turns out nobody will stop you. I don't know why the homeless people aren't just doing it all the time. That's what I would be doing. But maybe it's because we weren't homeless. They let us. I don't know. But screw Blade. The only vampire movies we're talking about is Twilight. By the way, got to give St. Vincent credit. She banged the chick from Twilight. So that's that's a win in my book for rock music. And Will Smith is the new Blade. Will Smith is. I don't know what Will Smith is going to be doing lately. No, wouldn't that be weird if we skipped? She's all, it just turns out I don't kiss. I'm into three-ways. That would have been a pretty big jump, but
she's like, or she goes, hey, you know what she could have done? She could have been like, you know, if you'd paid for my friend, there would have been a three-way, but this was a test. You know, you failed. Like, you know, not even meaning it, but she that would have been the ultimate fucking way to play it. You know, you lose.
You guys kissed at the premiere of Blade? No, I took her to see X-Men. Didn't kiss her because the fucking friend was there, and then I took her to an Ozma show.
How did the scene where she kisses Bobby go?
I don't remember that.
You know, because you're having that. That's what I'm saying. Like when there's that whole I've never kissed. There's that whole scene in the movie where she kisses a boy for the first time, or her boyfriend, and then he almost dies. And the very first scene.
I was probably pissed off. That probably pissed me off when I saw it. That's probably why I don't like that movie. I was probably pretty mad about it. I am mad about it. I'm mad about it now.
Jason, you're still mad about it. I was going to tell you. Yeah, you're still mad about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah. So I did kiss her later on, but it was wasn't really worth it. Wasn't worth the investment. It's a lot of work. Not good work. But anyways, you guys at the premiere of Blade. I wonder if anybody remembers the premiere of Blade.
Well, Getty Images probably has it, right? Because they put all those like actual photos that were taken up on there, so you can. That's my favorite little side thing to do when I literally have nothing better to do and I'm not gonna play a video game. I go into Getty Images and I type in movie premieres from like the early '90s or late '80s. I just want to see like the Overboard premiere. Like, well, who was there?
Yeah.
You know? And they're all in there, man. Like they got Getty Image fucking watermarks all over the place. But soon enough, an AI fucking thing will remove all that shit for Rob. So like, I'm gonna have I want to make a nice album of. I'm gonna make for myself. You can print your own books and shit. I want to make my own book of just movie premiere photos by fucking year, and have them. That's what I want. So I want to see who's there. Yeah.
I like that movie premiere that Carrie Fisher's at, where she has like the sheer top that you could see through. I appreciated that as a young interneter back in my T-Bone days.
Fun little inside knowledge on Demolition Man. So the second unit director for Demolition Man was Luis D'Esposito, and Luis D'Esposito did second unit work on Super Mario Brothers.
Was it Giancarlo Esposito and he faked his own death and became an actor after?
But later on, Luis D'Esposito would be part of the three triumphants at Marvel to found Marvel Studios. So it's Kevin Feige, Luis D'Esposito, and they're going to be like, Rob's a guy who forgot the woman's name. I forget her name, but she's the one in charge that deals with the production and the visual effects.
Fun trick. Whenever you forget a woman's name, call her Tits McGee. They love that.
Yeah. So don't. So
it's Anchorman. Come on, Anchorman.
In my defense, in the book, the story of Marvel Studios, she admits to taking a backseat role in publicity. So it's not my fault. She's in every fucking producer's credit. Anyway, but if you look at Demolition Man and you watch it, it is the template for a Marvel Studios movie. Straight up. Like the humor with real stakes, like it's a pre-Marvel superhero movie. And it has a guy, and it can't be a mistake because Luis D'Esposito shot film on it. Like I just really feel like if you look at that film and go look at Iron Man and Thor and Captain America, it's a direct through line.
Is that the one that has Jack Black in it?
No, that's the one that has. You're thinking Simon Friendly.
I'm thinking Judge Dredd. Original Judge Dredd is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, this one has, what's that fucking asshole who just would do the
Sylvester Stallone?
He would just No, he did the other blacks fucking shtick and shit. He would steal. He got caught stealing a bunch of fucking.
Oh, really?
He's that fucking guy who would rant and act like he was angry all the time, but he was just stealing people's fucking. He was stealing Louis C.K.'s bits, is what it was.
The comedian with the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember his name either.
Yeah, see what I mean? But he would steal Louis C.K.'s rants. There's a whole rant in that movie where he goes, "I want to fucking, I want to eat my, I want my cigarettes and my alcohol. And I want my blah blah blah." Every fucking Republican says now, while they just tear apart a nice society to build their shithole.
Were they slow jacking it while they said it?
Yeah, but he's. I like that movie. Stop it. So Mick Jagger did a good job. So, but yeah, that fucking dude, that was a whole rant. He would steal Louis C.K.'s bits, but then Louis C.K. was flashing women his fucking junk, so I guess it all evens out. Like in the long
run. Look, Tyrant says, look, I loved Blade, but at the time I was still in high school. But the comic book movies that paved the way were Spidey 1 and 2, X2, then Iron Man 1 clearly set the current path.
Right. People didn't even remember Batman Begins when it came out, and I saw it in IMAX 3 times. Like it just wasn't a memorable. The Spidey 1 and 2, X-Men 2 was the big one. X-Men 2 was huge. Like, so
well, by the time that the Nolan Batman movies were out, though, like Spider-Man had already like set Well, yeah, it had already been like, hey, these make money, idiots. Like that was like 2002, right? Spider-Man 2 was 2002. Attack of the Clones. Yeah.
Well, no, Spider-Man 1 was 2002. Spider-Man 2 was 2004. Spider-Man 3 was 2006. Yeah, 6, 7-ish around there.
Am I gonna get crucified if I say that there's actually like dumb stuff in Spider-Man 3 that I actually like? Like I like when he does the whole walk down the street that everybody gets mad about. I love it. I think it's hilarious. It's so dumb. Like when he's like a dick, like that was funny.
Some people just like to watch the world burn, Jason.
But it was funny. It was funny. I mean, I can see how that should not have been like the third, movie. Okay, so I finally saw Spider-Man on Saturday because Bestman Bulletin told me through text message about International Cinema $3 Day, whatever it was. So I took the kids and we went and saw Spider-Man. No Way Home. I finally saw it, and I liked it. The kids would only.
You saw the extended version though, right? It's not all the extra shit in it.
It didn't say that anywhere, but I had heard that it was.
Yeah, did you see a scene when the basketball gym where he's in the gym and he walks on the wall and stuff?
And he walks on the wall.
The extended version.
Yeah.
That wasn't all. Oh no, that was in the first.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty funny. But so at the so there was a post-credit scene. And like Venom gets sent back to his universe, right? Like when the wish happens, is that what happened there? Like, and then but some of the symbiote didn't get wished away and it stayed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was there any more scenes after that?
No, that memory.
Was that was only that one. Okay, because people were still staying, but my kids were like, "We gotta go." I was a hero. I was an asshole and a hero. After I go to take my son to the restroom and there's a huge line. We finally get inside and the urinals are all too high. Like they were too high for him. So we go out to go to the family restroom. And as we were going to walk into the family restroom, this fucking couple like literally pretty much like cuts right in front of us. Like they beelined it for it.
For the urinal?
For the family restroom. We left and went outside to the family
people off for the family
I think they went in there to fuck. And then
that's so weird.
So I'm waiting there and like about 4 minutes goes by and there was 2 people. I'm like, I'm sorry, but 2 minutes is enough for everybody to take a piss and get the fuck out. And I knock. My kid's like, I'm going to die, Dad. And I'm like, so I knock. And then more families show up behind us. Now there's like 3 families behind us. And I'm getting fucking pissed. My little boy's not having a good time. I'm like, ooh, so I fucking bang on the fucking door super hard. And then they still aren't moving. So I just start fucking I'm like, if you can come to this, go ahead and try, because I know this is very distracting now. And so I banged the shit out on the door, and then the dude fucking opens the door and he's like, what? I have to go too. And I had to literally do it. I'm like, family restroom. It says family restroom, and you and your fucking girlfriend do not make a family. This is for little kids, And then I go inside, but I used a couple of bad words in front of other kids, which I shouldn't have done. And so we come out. So then as I walk out, I'm like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have used that language. They clapped. And the one lady said, thank you, mister. Thank you. And my kids were very proud of me. They thought I could fight. I can't fight. I could have beat that guy up though, because I was so mad. But not my most shining moment, but it was pretty funny though. But so I did miss a scene after. They still didn't include Toby fighting Goblin, which they shot. Probably didn't finish the visual effects, maybe. But there's one after that now. It shows what happens to Peter in pictures taken of him. Oh shit! So what happens? Is it like a Back to the Future thing? Like, does his hand disappear?
They should literally just put him in the Old West with the clock. You know what I mean? And like Doctor Strange or something.
Yeah.
You're like, what was that? Oh, that was the whole thing we got. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I will say, I on one hand, I thought the movie was a little bit overrated by the general population. On the other hand, I thought that movie was way better than it had any business being, considering what it actually does in the movie, which is bringing like 3 Spider-Men from different movies. You know what I mean? And like
the fact that it fixes 2 other fucking franchises and then sets this one up for a whole nother series of film, bro. It is so.
Yeah.
I don't care how you get there. It does
effective.
everything the sequel movies did not do in terms of like that sort of shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to get there first time out. You know, you can get there incrementally. It is possible, but there's just I highly recommend listening to
yourself.
The writers Thundergrunt's episode of Spider-Man No Way Home, because they get into intricate parts of how that was written and the process behind that.
I recommend listening to the new Thundercat. Not too shabby, Thundercat. Keep it up. You're grooving. That's what I say.
Thundergrunt's podcast, Writers Blockbusters.
All right. So yeah, but anyways, I actually I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was like sort of the Avengers. It was like an Avengers Spider-Man movie, and way better than the Avengers movies, which I can't lie, I think are trash. I don't think any of the Avengers movies are really good. And but this was how you do it. So Tyrant says, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna, I'm not your
people say
girlfriend.
I'm picky.
I ain't gonna fake it, you know.
People say I'm picky. It's ridiculous.
Hey, it either works for you or it doesn't, you know. Tyrant says, to this day, my favorite movie is The Dark Knight. To me, it's just a 90s heist movie with enough mob stuff to cover the family stories and just enough comic book action to make it Batman. Yeah, I think The Dark Knight is probably maybe like the most well-made, but my girl's always Batman 89. That's the one I can't forget her, you know. Bestman Bulletins, it's probably that dopamine hit I got in the theater at 9 years old, you know. It worked. Bestman says he's still in the pictures, but there's usually some distortion in the image over his face. Okay. So it's almost like a weird internet kind of like high strangeness thing or something. That's kind of fun.
Well, that was something in the original in JJ's draft of Man of Steel that leaked to Ain't It Cool News back in the day. He the symbol that he wore on the suit, because the suit was like a piece of technology that would turn into different things like clothes or carry. That's how they explain he turns into clothes or a suit, you know.
God, but what it would do is the shield explains so much.
Look, but it was cool because when he gets injured in the beginning of the film and the suit carries him to safety, like it actually is. It was a really cool piece of technology, but like it was just the thing that like they had his dad, since his dad's a scientist, his dad built the suit protected. It was actually pretty cool, but there was this thing where it was like the symbol kept cameras from recording what he looked like or something, you know. Like you wouldn't even your impression of what he looked like when he was wearing it, you kind of saw what you wanted to see. So like that's where I was like, man, that would really work well, because in the 90s I wanted Will Smith to play Superman, right? I was like, just like I thought it would be different, like have Superman be fun and then have Clark Kent be super serious, or have Clark Kent be like Fresh Prince and then have him be like, you know, when he was in Bad Boys or something, right? But then when I read that little bit on the symbol making people see what they wanted to see, I'm like, what if they saw a white guy? That's, you know what I mean? Like, because people have a bias. You know what I mean? You see the person that you would expect to save you, kind of thing. But then when Lois finally sees who he is, she just sees him. And I was like, that's what I would do. Like anytime I was in LA, I'd fucking pitch this to people and they would just look at me like, you're a fucking nerd. You know what I mean? Fucking idiot, you know? And I'm like, you know, if I was a rich kid, you know, like that's where you go and get the rights, you know what I mean, to something, and you prove them how fucking right you are, you know?
If Kathleen Kennedy was watching your Super 8 movies because your parents were investors in her movie, that kind of rich kid?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but no, because I'm a poor kid, but I'm in LA trying to fuck it, you know, going to In-N-Out.
Sounds good. So Tyrant says, my wife and me finally saw Maverick over the weekend. Opinions still not set in stone.
I just want to say, Jodie Foster's never looked prettier in that movie, right?
Jodie Foster
and Maverick, yeah, and you know, Mel Gibson. James Garner. What?
Is he talking about Top Gun Maverick, or is he talking about Maverick, the Mel Gibson vehicle?
All I'm saying is, Jodie Foster made me wish I was born a woman in that fucking movie, because that is everything to me. That's my jam.
Let's fucking do it, Jodie. I ain't scared.
Yeah. Sadly,
fucking, you want to role play some fucking nail? I'll throw you in the backyard and you could roll around in the dirt.
Second best card movie next to Rounders.
Nail
still number one, huh?
Nail.
I like Panic Room.
Yeah,
just saying.
But fun fact, she was in contention to be Princess Leia. We could have had a Jodie Foster Leia. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I wonder if Jodie Foster had been Princess Leia if she would have directed one of the prequels.
Here's the thing. We wouldn't have got the highs, no pun intended, of Carrie Fisher's episode 4 and 5. Movie still would have done well. But we would have had the brilliance of what Jodie Foster continues to become right throughout her. Yeah. Or do you think if she got that kind of fame, because I mean she won an Oscar though, right?
She was huge.
The Taxi Driver. Never mind. Yeah, I think she would have probably she probably would have directed and co-wrote this episode 7 for all we know had that happened. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I will say, if Jodie Foster had been Leia, her and Holdo definitely would have scissored, like without a doubt. Holdo and Jodie Foster. Write that in your fan fiction. Bestman said, I saw a film called Marcel the Shell with Shoes on this weekend. It was great. I saw the short. So
the movie's not quite what the short or the trailer you saw is not quite what the movie is, but it's still a fun movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was hoping for like an A24 version of the latter half of Happy Feet, you know, when he jumps in the ocean and takes off and changes the world, and it's not that. So yeah.
Aria says 5 months for Mando. That's fucked up. Did a release date hit while we're doing the show or something that I missed? What's going on there with 5 months for Mando? But, you know, we got around 3 months worth of Cassian Andor, less than 3 months. But so if you get down to it, that gives us like a 2.5 month break, if that's accurate, which isn't the worst. It's not the worst. Little bit of a, you know, give Star Wars a little bit of a breathing room for the next thing, maybe. So Seth says, finally thought of a weird fact. I got Seth. I got in Seth's head. Seth was like, I got to come up with this one. There was one where Carrie would apparently put on the holiday special to get people to leave parties, and George would hunt copies down and destroy them. Do you think that really happened? I think that was just like a joke she told.
Jokes.
I think it's a joke too. But Tyrant says Top Gun.
What was she gonna put it on? What does she record it on? I don't. She buy an illegal copy, keep it around.
Yeah, she could have got it out at a convention, I suppose. But
honestly, get rid of George pretty easy. She just busts out the Coke. George leaves. You know, like
what are you talking about? George is the biggest cokehead of them all. George is, yeah.
He's the one guy in Hollywood, I guarantee you.
No.
Oh no.
Here's how it would go. Oh, what's the? She's all, George. This is called cocaine. You should try it. Okay. I don't feel anything. Maybe you should do some
Heidi
more.
Fleiss, yes.
I don't
cocaine, no.
Yeah. He's all, the cocaine's for my dates. Tyrant says,
man.
Top Gun Maverick and Rounders is clearly the #1 card movie. I splash my pot whenever the fuck I want.
Whenever the fuck I please.
I still I'm gonna my big Rob moment. I'm gonna call it my Rob moment, because I feel like I had the better idea than the fucking movie, and my ending to Top Gun, it makes it so much better. Top Gun Maverick. Like, I understand their problem. They wanted you to get that was Goose's kid. That Rooster is Goose too. They wanted you to get that. So they introduce you to Rooster playing Great Balls of fucking Fire on a piano. Fuck that. That's fucking bullshit. He's not happy. He's not playing the fucking piano. He's drinking beer at this time. But at the end of the movie, instead of doing that stupid sailboat fucking bullshit and all that shit, you have him go to the bar with his girlfriend, her kid. They own the bar. The kid could be in there. And Rooster. And then they play Great Balls of Fire at the piano like they used to. That's the best ending. And a music ending is the best ending to any Hollywood blockbuster movie. And that's what they should have done. I don't know why they didn't do it, but that was the better way.
They couldn't get everyone back for that reshoot, Jason. All they could get was Jennifer Connelly. She was the only one available.
I think
they got the boat.
You got Christopher McQuarrie. He could have plotted out a story to make it happen.
I think that's in there so Cruise can show it to whoever he's married to now and just keep her. Hey, I always got one on a boat. Just keep talking some shit. Some shit again.
He's all, pick up some more thetans and you'll be swimming with the fishes. Are thetans bad or good? I don't know. Bespin Bullens says, in an alternate universe, Sylvester Stallone is Han Solo.
What about Tiffany Amber Thetans?
Tiffany Amber Thetans. Oh, she has to become one. She has to become a Scientologist. I mean, that would be so good.
So dumb, dude. It's
so good, dude.
Had to do it. Had to do it.
I mean, I would. She asked me to go to the Max. I'd be like, yeah, I'll go to the Max with you. And then really, I end up in this room getting like tested for thetans and converted to Scientology. I would do it. I played a show. I put a really weird show with a girl reading poetry and shit. It was really strange, but it was right across the street from the big Scientology building. It was kind of ominous.
Scientology.
You just like walk out and it's just like, it looks like a fucking giant mental institution, like where it looks like Arkham Asylum or something.
But it's like a carnival ride, one of those fun houses.
Yeah,
you see at the carnival. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's like for all of the money that they have and all the PR that they have, you think they make that shit look like the front of like It's a Small World or something instead of.
But see, they know who they're attracting. They need the crazy people who everyone loves a carnival. Jason.
Yeah. It would be kind of cool if Chewbacca and Han Solo were like punching meat, like in a freezer in the Millennium Falcon. I'd watch that scene.
That might be in Mando season 3.
Right? I could see him doing it. Yeah, I could see it. I could see not Moff Gideon. What's his name? Fucking Action Jackson being in there doing it with him, training for the fight. Grief Karga. I am not a fan of the Mandalorian names. Can't lie. They do not stick. Cara Dune, Grief Karga, fucking Din Djarin. Come on, dude.
Cara Dune's a cool name. It's just she should have been from fucking Tatooine.
She shouldn't have been from Alderaan. Yeah, Cara Dune for Alderaan is a big mistake. It doesn't.
It's so odd.
Yeah. Tyrant says, "Man, can you imagine seeing that picture in your childhood as Princess Leia and the accused and taxi driver? Fucking rough." Yeah, that's true. That'd be hard to take in. No, I wouldn't change Carrie Fisher for the world, though. Obviously, 2 weeks left for Andor, though. Arya, is that official? Did something happen, or are you just going with fan math for that date? I need to know. Mando was confirmed for February at Celebration. Okay. That's right. I didn't know, but was it like, Man, I remember when they said that, and I didn't know if that was like believe it or if that was like here's our hope. We were joking about the movie stuff because they changed Andor a month out, right? Seth also says George's favorite The Clone Wars episode is A Sunny Day in the Void. It's a good one. It's weird. Tyrant says make fun of Xenu one more time, and I will get your boat. Yeah. Anybody seen the Jaws 3D conversion?
I wanted to, man, but it wasn't playing out here. Like it wasn't playing. So now I'm hoping. I heard the conversion's good, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to buy it.
Yeah.
I really want it. I want it.
Yeah. They were showing it for $3 on that cinema day. Couldn't get a good seat, and then the seats that we could get, I was like, the kids might not like it. Like it might be too much in 3D for them. They've seen it before, but
God, man, I just remember I was thinking about that was a movie every adult was cool letting you sit there and watch Jaws over and over again.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my uncles would just watch Jaws. I'm like, all right, play Legos watching Jaws, and guys are being eaten alive, and it's all normal and shit. It's the craziest fucking thing, dude. But it says PG, so it's a family film. Guy gets eaten alive. God, no, when you say kicking the teeth, and he goes right in there.
I think does it have a naked lady too in the beginning when doesn't she? Is it takes fully naked?
Yeah, you don't really notice as much, but yeah, you can see some boob if you look for it.
Yeah, I believe I did.
She was never really my type, so, as a kid,
As a kid,
a little sun-washed,
Boobs was boobs as a kid,
Yeah, I was a picky kid.
Lot of trauma movies taught me that. Boobs is boobs. But yeah, I want to go and I want to go see it, but I don't know if I will or not. There are some dark themes in that episode, considering how goofy it is. Yeah. I like in that they used that little general guy was the concept for Jar Jar. They took one of the Jar Jar concepts and made him 6 inches tall. And oh yeah, I didn't tell you, Rob. There's this document. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. I should send it to you. It's fun reading material when you want to read something ridiculous. And it so how there's Google Eyeglass or whatever it's called, Google Glass, that will
I remember that. Yeah.
That will translate visual text, for you. Somebody took some documents from the fall of the Soviet Union from the UFO program and ran them through and then shared the full PDFs translated through and the translations are pretty good. And I got this one, it's about 300 pages, but I read through it the other night on my iPad, and it paints a picture of the UFO community or intelligence community at the time of just being complete batshit. You could either go with it being complete misinformation the whole time, but they're citing American stuff, which would mean they're trying to say that they understand what's going on with what the United States has. I thought they have it too, if it is fake. But it's ridiculous. It starts off they're talking about how Hitler made it to to Antarctica, and it had a secret base where they were trying to develop their UFO program. And then in 1947, the Americans show up with 4 ships and all these subs and stuff. The UFO fucks them up, but we actually win. And then the United States gets the UFOs, Hitler's UFOs from Antarctica. And you're like,
why do you think, I guess Steven, right? It's because of Steven Spielberg, Lucas doesn't do the Hitler got away with the UFOs idea. Because that was known in the 90s, that story, that was traversing pretty widely even then. And I'm like, why didn't he just go with the Nazis and Hitler survived? And I'm like, it's got to be Steven Spielberg wouldn't let that fun fiction happen. Gotta be, well,
no, actually this document is from 1983. So I don't know if it I don't know.
But I'm just saying, given given that he wanted to do a saucer thing, like just the idea of Hitler surviving and the UFOs with the Nazis, it's just why did Lucas and them didn't tie it all together? I just got to imagine, someone did want to take Hitler not surviving seriously. You know what I mean? Like, okay, put the. I mean, I get why.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah. No, they wanted to do one of the previous Indiana Jones scripts had Nazis in it. I think it was the Darabont one, and was rejected on the basis of Spielberg was like, I can't do Nazis anymore. Like, I can't make them cartoon characters after Schindler's List. So
then no longer Spielberg working on. No offense, like I
think that's
the guy
what
went
happened.
And did fucking The Lost World. It's really hard for and Hook. Hook is after Schindler's List, so it's like if you can make a Hook, you're not above it. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
But so as I'm reading through it though, it starts to get into this like weird stuff, and it's it gets into archaeology entirely, and most of the document is about them finding things that allude to societies older than the Sumerians, basically, and technologies, and basically it never actually goes out and says it's aliens doing this, but basically it goes into how the pyramids make vibrations on Earth and shit that keep us harmonized for now, but the pyramids are breaking. And then it goes into the
coast to coast for years.
Yeah. This is probably one of the documents that George Knapp brought from the Soviet Union, most likely, right?
Right.
Good chance, anyways.
Something like it, sure.
Yeah, it's like 450,000 years before the gods from the Iron Planet arrived on Earth, after the death of Atlantis and the gods from Venus, as it follows from the text of the Anarabe almanacs. German scientists had at their disposal the original and legendary manuscript of the List of Kings compiled by the Egyptians. And it just goes fucking off. It goes off hard though, and it doesn't stop for 300 pages. And it goes into this it starts having the science stuff that I think is meant to just bore you and make you skip, because it's here's how the Earth axis goes and shit. But anyways, as I'm reading through it, I had two perspectives. Either it's completely misinfo the whole time, or it is real in that they were completely crazy on both sides, lying to each other. But there comes a part where it gets into photographs and stuff in the documents, which I found kind of fascinating and fun. But you know how we would have, so they say that they got this stuff from the Americans, but you know how we would have fairs, traveling fairs, and they'd be like, come out and see old man Jalipsy. He was 8 feet tall, or he was 30 meters long. Here's his femur. It's all this stuff from
I know of
fairs.
That, right?
Yeah, that kind of shit.
Yeah, all the EC comics stuff. You know what I mean? Right out that whole.
So they go into basically how we weren't but here's what I found interesting about it is, remember the stuff that Elizondo was saying, you need to get ready for there to have been more mankind's, not just mankind and all that stuff. It sounds a lot like fucking the stuff that Tom DeLonge and Elizondo are talking about is this shit. And this shit is bad anthropology. And it's bad archaeology. As I'm reading through it, I'm just no. It's fun though. It's definitely a fun read, because right here we have a skeleton of a tiny person, Rob. If you can see on the camera, I don't know if you're able to see right now, but and look, there's a dime.
Yeah.
What I found, but look, it's an American dime though. Isn't that strange?
Okay.
But yeah. So it was. I don't know, man. As I've been looking at what the UFO people are saying in the government now, and how much of it is kind of batshit kind of crazy. Even that one dude, man, that fucking Gary Nolan guy. There's stuff of him going I don't need science to know that this is real and stuff. And it's you're not the one who's supposed to be saying that. You're our science guy. You're a science guy, bud.
Look, they get into these, Jason, they get into these droughts, and then they have to go into the fucking metaphysical. It's all about emotions, and you can conjure it up with feelings bullshit. And that's where I'm like, no, there's a phenomena, and it doesn't give a fuck about you or me or this planet or anything else, because there's a billion fucking other planets to go to. It has its own agenda. It's only interested in it. It's not going to help save the Native Americans from Custer. You know what I mean? It didn't help save fucking any fucking culture. It didn't stop Hiroshima. It didn't give a shit during World War I or II. Like,
they're white Nordics. You're misunderstanding the whole thing.
They didn't help save the fucking Nordics from the Hun. I mean, I don't know. Like, man, like, it's just the Germanic culture. I mean,
that's because they needed to improve the gene pool. That's all. I know.
They meant Gene Pool. His name is Gene. They picked him up in the 70s. They brought him back.
My name's Gene. Gene Pool. I'm here to help.
He looks like the teacher from Incredibles, right? His name is Gene Pool. Yes.
I'm here to take you to space. But
so. And I think the most true thing I've ever heard about the phenomena was Balbazar say, no one fucking knows what it is. You're never going to know. It's beyond us. You find something else to do with your life. like that was it. Like, yeah, I mean, is it fascinating? Sure, but it's never going to go anywhere. You're never going to be able to make this shit work. Like, good luck. We should be fixing this planet,
Yeah.
But stop fucking lying to folks that we don't have the ability, because the government's so fucking compartmentalized that it doesn't want to. It has to admit to a lot of other shit by admitting this. You know what I mean? And they used to hide behind people with religion. That's not it at all. They have to admit how much money was spent. When people find out how much money was spent trying to make this shit work, and never working, people lose their fucking minds. You know?
Well, I mean, it's like when you look at it, like, no offense to any of you religious believers out there, but you know how there are some people that are radical believers in religious stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, that there's just people that are just like, that cannot step out of it. Like how can anybody like that in the government ever like evaluate any of the stuff without looking at it from a lens from faith as opposed to science, And I saw I kind of like, I have hopes right now with Avi Loeb. Avi Loeb is kind of where I'm putting my, please stay on this. Please don't shit the bed, Avi. But they, how they've set up all of those cameras to try to film this guy. I'm not a big privatization person. I don't think it's the greatest idea in the world, but as I'm looking at all of this stuff, I do not know if I don't know if religious fundamentalists in the government could ever get anywhere with it. I think the private people, the private sector, like what Avi Loeb is doing, is probably how we're going to get anywhere.
But here's how it's all irrelevant, because whatever new technology comes along while they're doing it, they'll just claim it's the new technology. Mm-hmm. So never heard about fucking drones, you're right? But now everyone goes, oh, Phoenix Lights was drones. They didn't have fucking drones.
Yeah.
And fucking nice. Now it would be like, oh, we're looking at the sky, but all the footage is AI generated. It's actually AI generated video. Like, it's not even, you don't have to have the ability, because you can hide behind, I don't have the ability to do the Photoshop and the visual effects, but it was AI generated. So, like, they're just going to, and then they're going to say every photo was AI generated, as if AI generation existed in the fucking 40s. But that's what they'll say. Like, it just never fucking ends. Well, maybe they had it. You didn't know. Maybe they had it. I know, because IRS doesn't even have a cafeteria. That's how I know.
I mean, while Elizondo did bring us Richard Butt, he's so dumb, so stupid. But he did give us, the concept of the 5 observables. At least he popularized it right now. And basically, if you see a UFO, good for you. It's amazing, but it doesn't count unless you have a lot of those 5 observables shown in it, and probably multiple witnesses also getting it too. Otherwise, like if the Phoenix Lights is amazing and it is documented, you could go, there's a guy
I watched it live on TV
named King Tom, or Tom King on YouTube, is a YouTube channel, and he just has hundreds of videos of it and news reports and stuff like that, and you could see the real ones and the fake ones and all that stuff on that channel. It's really, really fascinating. But yeah, if you don't go that way, I mean, anyways, that Avi Loeb guy, they got something huge flying into the ocean, and he's talking about it now, and they're trying to go find it. They don't know what it is,
near
but it was
Catalina. Because that was that. Remember we read that one.
Yeah, he was the one who found or who saw. Avi Loeb was the guy who did the Oumuamua fucking thing. That was like, this is Interstellar or something.
I think one of the that's why I say, man, The Abyss is one of the. It takes 2001 and Close Encounters and smashes it together with a phenomena that is actually probably real.
Yeah,
you know, underwater flying objects, like things that can go way down below and way up into the air, and I think that's all. And imagine if one of those fucking things. It's the greatest fucking as a UFO person. The whole opening to The Abyss, the idea that a UFO inadvertently causes a nuclear submarine to fucking like break and start the trigger working World War III is fucking brilliant. Yeah. He should have won a fucking Oscar for that fucking script. This is ridiculous. Like, I have yet to see any of these fucking big world, the end of the world might actually happen fucking things ever occur with a better fucking premise than that, let alone how it was executed. It's executed brilliantly, you know? Like, it's so good.
Well, I mean, when you look at, I mean, I know this is like a bad analogy, but when you go on a date, if you're not the coolest guy ever, you're fucking fumbling around and fucking up. And humanity, if it ever does happen, can't fuck it up. And that's exactly kind of what's happening in those moments. We kind of go to it with weapons, and it's bad, you know. But yeah, it is kind of weird that in cinema they haven't really picked up on that. They didn't really go any further with it, with that kind of like idea.
I feel like Cameron watched the opening to Close Encounters when the radar sequence and was like, I want a whole movie that feels like this. You know, I don't want it to go to the guy and he's with his family and the plucky shit. Just the intensity of that fucking, you know, we could divert, it might crash into a plane, or you know what I mean? Fucking, what is this fucking thing? Like, he just found a way to take that and make a whole movie that feels like that. And then set it underwater. And then he goes, oh, and we're gonna shoot it underwater. What? Like, that is such a fucking crazy move. You still can't do it. You still can't do that. Like that. Yeah. It's just nuts, folks. Like, when everyone goes, it's overrated. Oh, fuck off, dude. Like, anyone go pull that shit off. Just go shoot in your own fucking pool with your GoPro and see how far you get. You know what I mean? Like,
it was weird too. I remember that movie being one of the first films that had like an alternate version that wasn't advertised. It was just,
and it legitimately was a better version. Like, it's the only way the movie makes sense.
Yeah,
and
how did that unfold?
I still love the first movie.
How did that happen? I remember my dad noticing first, and then my dad was like freaking out, like, it's different.
Huh? It just people said it was different.
No, was it like different on VHS from the theatrical, or was it different on cable?
It's different from. No one saw it theatrically. I saw it theatrically,
I did that.
Okay, you're one of the rare ones.
I saw every movie when I was a kid, though. Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to go. Right, so my father was like, "Go in the theater, it costs money. You go nowhere. You wait till it comes." I had to wait. All right, I'll wait. So this is why you're gonna go and see it. I'm like, no, I've got built into me. I can just wait. You know. Anyway, but when it hit Laserdisc, that's when, like, I want to say, like, the Roger and Eberts, you know, maybe not him, maybe the dude with the big fro and the stash. So one of them fucking dudes was like, this is different because they show you the footage, the big tidal wave, and you see that tidal wave footage and you're like, what was this? You're all, you know, like, and that's where that got around, you know?
Yeah.
But it doesn't really hit until the DVD release of it, because no one fucking owned the laser.
It was advertised at the DVD release of it, but I remember, like, we had two versions of the movie, and I don't remember like how that was. Like one of them might have been like I recorded it from cable, and then the other one was like the VHS that we own, or something. Like, it was something weird. But then yeah, when it came out on DVD, that was when they were finally like acknowledging like alternate versions and stuff. And I
only saw it on Laserdisc because my cousin's father, technically my uncle, but he's one of those uncles who was like, don't call me that. Call me by my name, you know, like, weird dude. But he had like, I know, I don't like it. He had a Laserdisc player and one of those big satellites dishes, which
oh yeah,
he still has in his backyard. He doesn't want to get rid of it. Like he passed, but he passed, and his widow doesn't want to get rid of it. So they got that giant fucking satellite dish still in their yard. You know, like whatever. They don't use it. Just check it out. Anyway,
you could pretend like you're in the
Jetsons there
with it.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it there, and that's when I first watched Akira on Laserdisc.
Yeah,
which no one wanted to watch but me, and I was just blown away.
Yeah. Tyrant says, the shit our parents let us watch in the 80s growing up. Jaws, Die Hard, Young Guns, Predator Guns. I think Young Guns bust. Terminator, Alien, RoboCop. If your parents were really uncaring, some Cronenberg, Fly, Videodrome. Yeah, I saw
That's
all
my
of
dad.
that.
He was uncaring. Yeah. Yeah. The one that, he really was just like, oh, it's great. My dad sat me down to watch Nightmare on Elm Street when it came out on pay-per-view, and The Thing. You know what I mean? Like that was like it weren't the same. The Thing was on tape, but the same weekend we saw The Thing, and then I see that, and my dad just loved scaring the shit out of me. Like, he thought it was fun, you know.
Yeah.
That built that cynical humor. I think if you see horror that early, you built a little cynicism in you, Jason. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
You're like, we're all gonna fucking die. It's all ridiculous.
Well, one day my mom goes to drop me off at my dad's. I don't think anybody wanted me that day, and unwanted 80s kid, and she finds my dad at my uncle's and just sort of leaves me there. I walk in the house, they're all stoned out of their minds, and I sat there with a bunch of stoned adults and watched Faces of Death. And it was like, from memory, some of it was definitely real and some of it was definitely not. But
basically YouTube on tape.
Yeah.
I'll say this though, I would love to see a study. I would love to see a study of what people who are exposed to horror films at a young age versus kids who are exposed to superhero films at a young age. And I bet you the horror kids turn out better. Because the people in horror films have to actually take charge and defend themselves and take ownership. And superhero, they're being saved by a Deus Ex Machina or a superpower or someone else's. I gotta wonder if the horror people are more resilient. You know what I mean? Like real, world weary or whatever.
So my personal experience from that, and from because I had girlfriends, not girlfriends sexually, like friends who were girls who we would go watch horror films together and stuff like that. Like when I was a kid, for most summers, I had a sort of a babysitter because my parents weren't together. My mom was out of the picture usually. My dad worked, but he would give me $2 or $3 a day, and I could go down to Alondra 6, which was like the 50-cent movie theater, and I could pretty much watch movies all day, or I could go to the public pool and go swimming. So it was always sort of a this or that. That's pretty much why I saw every fucking 80s movie ever, the summer movies especially.
Makes sense.
And but what I noticed about the girls grew up to follow a lot of serial killers and that kind of jazz, and became the true crime wave that we have of today. Mostly, I think they really graduated from the fake horror to the real horror, probably because women have a harder time existing in public compared to boys. You know what I mean? So I think
they're a target. It's almost from the time they're fucking born. Sad to say,
very very early on, and if not the whole time. And so I think that a lot of, and then when you get into that community, you have highly intelligent, well-adjusted people, or you have people that have a lot of anxiety, and that for some reason that's that helps let out the anxiety, true crime as well as horror. That's my at least Southern California sociological observation of them. I don't know, or anthropological maybe, but kind of how everybody seemed to have sort of turned out. But yeah,
I love the superhero films, man. I love seeing comics on screen, dude. I have a good time with it. Even some of the bad ones I enjoy. But when I see members of Patriot Front rocking around with Captain America looking shields. I'm like, well, they got the wrong fucking message. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, it's like all the guys who watch Star Wars who worship the Imperials. You know, like I get enjoying the bad guys. I'm not saying that. But while they're worshiping the Imperials, they're all talking about like overthrowing their government. You know, it's like, what lessons did you learn from all this? So I just got to wonder if like I'm not blaming the media. I would never do that. People tend to see what they want to see when they stare into a wall, right? Like whatever's in you kind of gets reflected back at you, right?
Yeah.
So like the
when you go into the cave, of certain, what's in the cave, Rob?
Right, it's yourself, right? Yeah, it's what you take with you. So, but when I do see groups demonizing one form of media for another, just because it has the appearance of a hero doesn't mean you're going to turn out heroic people. You know, like that's just not, you know. I also wonder if it's harder, other than the gore itself, the surface value, the themes presented in horror films, I think probably would challenge. They just challenge people and authoritarians too much because it is about vulnerable people having to fight someone who has all the power and generally winning in the end, right? Like generally speaking. And I just wonder, like, that can't sit well with authoritarians, you know? We need the person who has all the power to win and save everyone because that's how we get in charge. Like, I just think about that sometimes, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I've known a lot of rape victims that like love Spit on Your Grave. Like they're into that movie. You know what I mean? For that reason, stuff like that. So
good LA film though.
You know? But also like one thing though, like with the whole superhero thing though, is it does kind of play into that whole like main character syndrome kind of thing that you have with dudes on the internet and stuff too. You know what I mean? And so if you have any kind of, you know, you think Captain America is the right, you know, is like your hero, for instance, but then you have a bad set of morals, then you apply that to Captain America and think,
correct.
Well, what would Captain America do if the election was stolen? He'd get his shield, and by golly, he would storm the Capitol, you know, and you go down some really scary places with that kind of shit. Yeah, because I mean, the one thing about it, like in horror films, you don't really have. The main character is kind of reactive until they have to be proactive. Right.
And anyone who's proactive is deemed a nut.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, we're talking about like Jamie Kennedy, the rules of a horror movie, you know, like we're doing that bit here, you know, there's always an exception to the rule. But that's why I think The Thing is the best example, because it doesn't go well. You know what I mean? In the end, nobody listens to any kind of reason and everyone suffers the fucking consequences for it. And that's what you get for killing a dog. That's all I got to say. That's what you get. You know, you start off by shooting a dog. That's what happens to you.
all I'm saying is Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street, I know where she wasn't on January 6th. I know that much. You know what I mean? For sure.
Respectable actress.
Yeah. Did you see that?
So far as I know,
fan trailer somebody did where they hired her to make like a Freddy's back trailer, and it was just like a fan thing. It wasn't real, and I thought it was real for a second, and I was very sad when it turned out not to be real, because they should completely do it, you know. Nightmare on Elm Street. I miss Freddy, and that's like the kind of thing right there is like Freddy and the Joker are completely amusing. I could watch them doing terrible things all day, but I never wanted to be either of them. You don't really want to be them, except for when Prince plays Party Man and they go into the art gallery and destroy all of the art, because you must destroy to make a new. And I agree with the philosophy that the Joker had in that moment. That said, after that, that's where it starts and stops with me, and that's why I haven't gone to prison yet. So, hey, General Grievous, how are you?
No one wants to be the Joker. Meanwhile, in Colorado.
Man, I was like 4 years old and saw Chucky the Doll on the MTV Movie Awards, and it scared me for life. Or scared. I was terrified of Chucky till I was like 13. That's my horror movie experience.
My buddy
I saw
is
that in the theater.
Chucky fan ever, dude. Like,
big fan.
Like, I remember before Hot Toys, you know, existed. Like, he was buying Chucky replica figures on the internet, like in 2005 and 6. You know,
I got one at the
like,
OC Fair in 1990.
He brought it to work, and I was just like, I wasn't ready for that as a fan. I'm like, I don't know if this is weird. He's got the kid there in the corner and shit. I was like, hey, you're fucking Chucky. Like, now I'd find it, but at the time I was like, it's weird, man. Like,
my Uncle Don went to, my Uncle Don was like a 70s kid, obviously, but he was still like doing like early versions of adult Halloween, like when the masks were super fucking scary and high quality. And there was this green it was like a black hood with like a green mouth that sort of protruded. It had these like teeth. It was just like a goblinish kind of like green face. I don't know what it was supposed to be. It was terrifying. I had the mask. Actually, I saw it a few weeks ago and I was watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure. When Pee-wee goes into the magic shop, that very mask is in that room. But I had a bitch of a stepmom. So a total piece of shit. And she was very superstitious and religious. And so one day I got it in my head that it would be a good idea to go get a big ladder and to wrap it in black sheets and then put that on top of it and then put I got 2 rakes and put it for hands, and then I put a candle down below it, and I had some marbles from Hungry Hungry Hippo, and I made like a pentagram on the floor with it and just left it with my door open and took off for the night.
It's what Data uses in Goonies too. Or Goonies, right? Like, he uses the marbles from Hungry Hungry Hippos. That's what.
Yeah.
I did something similar when I was a kid. You remember that scene in Summer Skull where they act like rats are biting into their necks and they're doing like the horror
Oh
movie?
yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. So my cousin had this little stuffed thing called Ratty, and I'd go down the stairs and I'm like doing this and I'm throwing through myself. Oh my God! My aunt starts screaming. And I threw myself down the stairs. I took the jackass hit. You know what I mean? Down into the floor against those. Oh my God! Oh, she was screaming and running around. I just could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
I had to let her know it was a joke, and she was just like, What is wrong with you? So last summer I was allowed at their house.
All right, I got a pretty good one. I had this red Pac-Man shirt when I was 4 years old. I have a picture of it somewhere. If I come across it, I'll show it. And I had this red Pac-Man shirt, bright red. And when you're a kid, like you can get like a loose thread, you want to pull it. So I pull it, and I get a thread about I'm gonna say maybe 9 inches long, something like that. And but I'm taking a shit, like sitting there taking a shit, little kid, 4. And then I got the thread in my hand, and I took the thread and I put it on my leg. And when I did, it looked like I got a very fine razor blade cut across my leg. I go, Mom, I cut myself with the razor because I hate myself. Where did that come from? I don't know why I did that. My mom starts screaming. I fucking take it off. My mom starts slapping me because she's fucking so mad, And it was pretty good, though.
You most likely saw one of those like ABC TV commercials about a daughter who cuts herself. One of those like informative. You had to have, but you don't remember that part of it, and then you go, "This is like I got cut." Yeah. Totally missing the whole point of the ABC after school special. Yeah.
Another time, I was like, I don't remember exactly all of the details, but I was like sitting in a booth with my parents, and they were telling me to sit down or something. I was acting up. And my dad's like, if you do this one more time, I'm going to take you outside. And I'm like, well, what happens then? And then he's like, you're going to get spanked. And I'm like, fuck this. I don't want this and I don't want that. So I threw myself on the floor and said, please, Daddy, don't burn me with a hot coat hanger. Please, Daddy, don't burn me with the hot coat hanger. My family just like scoops me up, fucking pays the bill and leaves. I got my ass kicked. But yeah, that was diabolical, man. My kids so far are so fucking good. Like, I'm like, when is this gonna come back on me? Is karma real? When's it gonna happen? How's it
when
gonna
they get
happen?
a YouTube channel and they talk about having to live under the authoritarian rule of a father who let them swim every day, and
it's probably gonna be like them fucking going Bam Majera on me. I'm gonna be sleeping with my like nuts hanging out the side of my underwear, and they're gonna film it and put it on YouTube or something.
Or it's like he never grew up. He was always a kid, and all he wanted was a real adult. You know, shit like that.
I wanted a father, not a dad.
Yeah. Well, it was like, all right.
Yeah. I tried hard to have a father, but instead I had a dad. Yeah, but I saw the Chucky films with my dad. I saw the first one with my dad and his date Donna. Man, Donna was a bitch, dude. Fucking hated Donna. Donna shows up to my house one day. I'm home by myself because that's my life as a kid. And she's like, "Where's your dad?" And I'm like, "He's not home yet." So then she goes home, and then she comes back. She's like, "I talked to your dad. He said you're supposed to vacuum the house." I'm like, "Vacuum's broke. Yes, I don't have to vacuum." Like, I'm a kid. This is what I said to her. Donna goes and tells my dad that I broke the vacuum on purpose so I didn't have to vacuum. Like, what the fuck is this bitch's fucking deal?
You think about this as you get older, you're like, what kind of an adult does this?
Yeah.
You know, I always think back to that shit. Like, would I ever consider doing the weird shit? Nope. Had to be drugs. They were all on drugs.
Yeah.
Had to be. And I don't mean to, like, you know, that's not saying I think drugs should be criminalized, all that bull. All I'm saying is we had people that were on substances that didn't want to admit they were on substances, taking it out on kids all the fucking time. And
yeah,
boo-hoo, right? Like, at least we didn't have to grow up in a fucking country that was being recolonized every 3 years by some incumbent. Yet we're getting that now here.
We're getting that now.
But some government that shifts every couple years. But like, it was just confusing, and they would gaslight. All of society would gaslight you, right? You'd be like, "This crazy shit's going on in my house." No, it's not.
No.
Yeah.
I remember like around that time too. My dad, see, there was a kind of a time early on when my dad was sort of cool about like dating piece of shit girls, but they would like come over and clean our house and stuff. Like that's when he was kind of cool. He lost that somewhere. I don't know where, but he did. But I remember she was coming over to like clean the house, and he has a big pile of clothes that needed to be washed, and I climbed into the clothes pile, and then Donna walks in and she has a candle, and she's like, "Bill, I bought us a lovemaking candle." I jump out. I laugh at him. I'm like, "You suck, man. You suck." My dad started slapping me in the head, and I ran.
Remember when you could slap? Yeah, they could slap kids, and women were cool with it.
Oh, when I was a kid, we had to take home a form saying our principal could beat the shit out of us. Yes or no?
Well, that's coming back. They were instituting that back in Missouri, right?
Yeah,
like,
my parents always said yes. It never happened though.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah, my stepmother said it was cool for me to beat her kids, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. and I'm not even kidding you. Like, you know, I'm like, because like they're acting out, just you could spank. I'm not doing any. I'll just let them grow up to be shit fuckers because I don't think this marriage is gonna work out. I was already like in high school by this point. I'm like, I'll just let them be hellions. And when this marriage fails, you could take the hellions with you because there's no fucking way I'm hitting this kid. You know, like this doesn't work, man. That kid and me are friends now, by the way, because I never fucking hit him.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad's dating choices. He's very good at putting his dick before his family. That got when
like I thought this was a Star Wars show.
Yeah. No, this is Jason's therapy now. When The Force Awakens came out, I've waited years to watch The Force Awakens for episode 7 to finally happen. I'm in magazines for my scoops at that time, and I just wanted to go see it on opening night. He agreed to it, but then this other fucking bitch of a girlfriend that he had for a while wanted to go to the movies that night, not to see Star Wars, to see something else, and he backed out. So I lost my
taking
babysitter.
Away that one memory.
I lost my babysitter on the night and you try to get a babysitter on the night Force Awakens comes out, you know, and I'm not somebody, I don't let anybody watch my kids. Like fucking very few people I'll allow to watch my kids. You know, I don't take risks with them. You know, and so it's like, son of a bitch. You think people will change, but they don't. They're always the same pieces of shit that they are. He's cool in other ways. He has other redeeming values. I don't mean to say that he doesn't, but boy, does that guy lose sight if a girl tells him he has some kind of worth, and boy, is it a mistake.
One of my childhood friends was like that, you know, and like I remember in '98 I was gonna leave, and I knew I was like, this is the last time we're all gonna hang out as friends. Like I knew it, right? So let's go to Six Flags. I'll pay for everything. I had some money, right? And
is this when you're going to the military? Is this like
this
as you're leaving?
No, this is before. So this is before the military, because like I knew I was gonna eventually have to join. I just wanted some buffer. So I went to my cousin's apartment up in Montana, from San Diego to Montana, and then just stayed there for 3 months until I ran out of money, and then I joined the army. So like, I figured I'm joining the army right away. Might as well just live for free and run until I run out of money, and then I'll go. Right? Just get away from everything. It's a great summer. I did watch The Money Train on a loop. So like, if you're wondering, can I? That's the summer I did it. I took my friends to Six Flags. This dude would not go. Oh, my girlfriend. Oh, blah, blah. And I'm like, I told him, here's what's going to happen. You're either going to go, or I'm going to kick the shit out of you right here and now in front of her, so she sees what of a pussy you are, and then we're going to go. Either way, you're going and I'm paying for it. Like, one way. Like, you got to go. I'm not giving you a choice. Yeah, he eventually apologized. You know, we all had a great time. It was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
How guys get, right?
Some guys, not me. I've always been pretty good about that, but I also had a model of what not to be, as opposed to what to be, on that front. Fair enough. Yeah. But Jedi Chris says before Desert Storm. No, this would have been after Desert Storm, right? Desert Storm was like 1991.
Yeah, it was 1991. I was in the 7th grade.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I was like. Yeah, I was in 5th grade.
No, my stepfather went to Desert Storm.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and while he was gone, my mom brought a boyfriend over. That was fun.
Oh, shit. Ouch.
A conservative black sheriff.
Oh.
And I say that.
And then she ended up marrying him.
I say that because
later, right?
I say that because him and my mother and them all got caught taking helicopter joyrides in San Diego. The sheriff's Astria, the whatever that they got caught. You know, conservatives just abuse the money and do whatever the fuck they. You don't forget anyone in politics just decides to abuse the money and go off. Dude, my mom, you're gonna love this. I can't believe I never mentioned. They took female prisoners from Las Colinas, right, the one in Santee, to Farrell's ice cream. I shit you not. Go look up the story.
Really?
Yeah. That's how much Farrell's is ingrained in my family. All right. It breaks my heart that place failed.
That's a Farrell success story.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
Are they in the orange jumpsuits, like while going in the Farrell's, going, I'll have a chocolate chip banana split?
I wasn't invited to go to Farrell's. I'm like, y'all went to Farrell's? Like, I remember telling Mom, I'm reading the newspaper. You went to Farrell's? I didn't go. So much. What the hell? So a bunch of grown adults took a bunch of female prisoners to a kid's ice cream place and didn't even bring their own kids.
Why?
I don't know. Bro, my mom had to be on drugs. That's all I can say.
Yeah, were they getting hooked up with fucking, they getting connects? Like, they
never said that. You know what I mean? Like, I do not know, Jason. I do not know.
Yeah. Man. I want to go to Farrell's, you son of a bitch, bringing it up again.
I knew you were gonna. I know.
My guilty pleasure lately has been going to Rite Aid, where they have the Thrifty's ice cream, because the chocolate chip ice cream cup is 150 calories. So if I don't eat bad that day, I'll take Penny over and get her the ice cream cone. Have a little cup of chocolate chip. Man, it's still good. It holds up after all this time. I don't know if you have Rite Aid with the Thrifty ice cream out where you are, but it's It's the
I grew
same.
up with Thrifty's ice cream.
Yeah.
I would get mint and chip or chocolate malted crunch. That was my thing.
I go the chocolate chip, or I go the cherry chip for the Thrifty ice cream. You know.
Yeah, but I actually know what that cherry chip tastes like.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the mint and chip ice cream at home though. I don't buy it because then I eat it all. But the old mint and chip shakes, man, that was the best. But anyways, yeah, Thrifty is the best. I used to get Star Wars figures there too.
I know the smell of a Thrifty's. Mm-hmm. That's how ingrained Thrifty's is in my culture. Fuck, it's so dumb, dude. But
there was also like a time when like Targets and those like Kmarts and stuff would do like pretzels and ices, and they smelled weird from
Kmart.
Kmart.
So first off, Kmart in the 70s actually had a full restaurant in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In the 50s, it was called something else, and the dude, it's in 11/22/63. There's a scene where he's in the beginning where he's telling the Chris Cooper guy, Al, is telling the James Franco dude, he's telling him about shit he's gonna do, and he's got this notebook, and he goes, "What's Kreskin's?" Or I think it's like Kreskin's, and he goes, "It's the department store that will one day become Kmart," but that's not the point. And I was like, like Stephen King figured out what Kreskin's was and just had to tell everyone. But they used to have these restaurants in the back, and there was one out in Spring Valley that still had it as far as like the mid 80s. So my mom, when we were living on our own, would go there, and in the back of this Kmart was this, I mean, right out of fucking like Alice, or like,
that's where my mom used to work. Pretty much those diners.
Yeah, something from like man, just from that whole era, bro. You know what I mean? And it's like all the
like
carpets
the doilies,
there.
like the little dress with like the doilies.
Red heat lamp, there's some tapioca pudding with raisins in it, Yeah, and we would eat there because it was dirt cheap.
Flies.
No flies. It was clean, but it was just old. It was old, and there was a smoking section, bro.
I remember there was a smoking
section. In a Kmart, and then that goes away. And they become that little thing in the front with the popcorn and whatever, is the only thing that survived it. Because that popcorn would drag people in from the front is how they would do it. They would just, this Disneyland trick, just waft fumes and they'll come in.
I worked at a mobile gas station, and around 3:45, I was to make 2 bags of popcorn, one at 3:45, so that the way the 4 o'clock people would come in and smell it. And then again at 4:30.
Yeah.
Because it worked, and it worked.
It works every time.
That was a cool job I had, like during my first band though, because I worked at that gas station, and I was able to get free car washes. So I would get the expensive car wash, and I would sell it for the normal price of the car wash to people, and make some extra money.
Always a hustle.
Yeah, and we could have free hot dogs and drinks, and we could come in and get them whenever we wanted to. So I could spend all my money, and then I would still have food. So it was kind of a good job, like for being like in a band and touring and stuff, and recording and shit at the time. It's pretty fun. Although one time we did almost kill our bass player by we got him really drunk, and we didn't like him. He was a dickhead. And we got him in the back of his truck, and we drove him to the car wash, and we took him through the car wash. And he got pretty beat up. He lived. He was fine, but it wasn't good.
He's in the back.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
I think he lived. I think he lived because he was drunk. To be honest with you.
Oh, Jason. That's gonna come back to haunt you. That
one. Jason, earlier, Sylvester Stallone as a solo came up, and you said him and a Wookiee punching meat, and I'm still on the floor with the euphemism could be.
I think it's great that we actually got a meat locker in Boba Fett episode 6, right, with the Mando. So like, I'm like, that can happen. We got a meat locker.
We did. That's why that came to mind. Probably, yeah. Costco food court remains undefeated. Man, I'm a big fan of the only thing that beats the Costco food for me is the Sam's Club Polish hot dog with a drink with crushed ice for $1.50.
See, the thing is you're in Southern California where all the food courts are outside. So if that were the case, I would agree with you. But here, where the weather changes, the food court's inside, and there's no way on God's green fucking earth you're getting me to go into a Costco with all those fucking people.
No way. With Sam's Club, they actually have the hot dog thing on the inside as you exit, because they don't really want normal people to buy it, only people who are members. But you could jump in through the exit and buy it, and they usually don't stop you. But at Costco now, you have to have the Costco card, or you can't check out and buy the pizza anymore. And I do like that Costco pizza. It is pretty good. But
no, it's excellent. Yeah, it is. It's not pizza, but it is excellent.
I don't know what it is, but it's good. You know, I was dating a vegetarian, and their vegetarian pizza there is really good. So like that was a good thing during the pandemic, you know, during like the start of it. And you could get it outside. That was a big deal too.
Not here.
But well, guys, we did 2 hours. It's now 1 o'clock. So I think we will call this a day. And if anything,
plenty of Star Wars discussion coming in the future weeks.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be ridiculous. Enjoy these days, folks. These lackadaisical trips down memory lane, because it's just going to be me telling you why this fucking show sucks for 12 fucking weeks now. But you liked it. Yeah, I'll find a way. I'll find a way to hate it, right? That's what I do. So I'll find a way to hate it and get Jason to defend it. That's what I do here.
Hey, I like most of it, you know, for what it is. But yeah. Tyrant says the best food item you can get hot and ready is the shop subs from Publix. I don't know if we have Publix here. Pandemic food of choice tonight, dough Ben and Jerry's. Oh no, you're going hard with the ice cream. And enjoy
I told you I have that low-cal strawberry ice cream I make, dude. That fills you right up, and it's nothing.
Rob, tomorrow you should put it in the chat. Put the recipe in the chat. We will share it.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Sure. Can't have a-hole Rob. Can't wait for a-hole Rob to return, says Chris. A-hole Rob will return when one of you motherfuckers tries to make the ice cream, makes it wrong, and then says it's terrible, and then he will tell you why you're fucking stupid. That's my prediction. Maybe not.
What was I was going off about something yesterday. It tied into the whole they promised me they wouldn't go. Mm-hmm. Why are they? Oh, it's people complaining about She-Hulk twerking. I'm like, I thought they were all out after Endgame. These motherfuckers quit the MCU. Why are they fucking still here? Like, they should go home. Like Matthew Bright, you should be going home. You said you weren't gonna. You shouldn't be even watching this. You shouldn't even be watching it. But they can't help themselves, Jason. They have to watch it. We're stuck with them. So when anyone tells me, fucking this show sucks or that movie sucks and I'm done with that, if it's geek shit, see you at the premiere. Because you got nothing else to do. You got nowhere else to go. And you don't want to go on the internet and be like, oh, no, what you're talking about.
I haven't seen it, but I want to see She-Hulk twerk. I got to say.
I'm the guy.
Don't want to see She-Hulk twerk and you have a problem with gay people. Maybe it's.
I'm the guy who's like, and you know that, Jason. Oh, Rob, did you see Rings of Power? No, why? No interest. Well, everyone's talking about it. Okay, I guess I'm not talking about it. I don't know what to do. I hold to my fucking truths. They are self-evident.
Yeah. And hey,
I'm creating
what?
More equal than
if
you.
If the boys want to twerk, clerk, do it. I don't care. Everybody do it.
Still haven't watched seasons 2 or 3.
When does Clerks 3 come out?
Don't know.
I keep seeing
whenever
stuff
I can watch it online.
Yeah,
I would be at the theater, but the COVID rates still aren't at an acceptable level. So this whole like seeing Avatar in the theater on the 23rd is going to be difficult for me to like. I told my buddy like I got that picture of the Riddler from fucking the Batman. I'm like, this might be me, just because I gotta go support. This dude. Can I get a midnight and be the only? There'll be someone else there. No matter what, Jason, they'll be there. I'm begging you, don't go see Avatar on the 23rd, please.
for Avatar, do you have to go to the first showing? Like
no,
could you
no,
wait?
I don't want. I just want the showing with no one there. I don't care if I prefer the showings in the middle of the night, so long as no one's there. No one be there.
Yeah.
No, I don't. The first one. So ridiculous. You know how many people watch that movie before you in the editing bay, the sound room, the fucking.
I don't know. That kind of thing is stupid. My thing is like I have dreams sometimes where a Star Wars movie is out and I haven't seen it, and I'm sitting here right now, like in my desk, and I'm like, why am I gotta go. I gotta go see it. Like, you know what I mean?
Nobody wanted to see the Turtles movie more than me before it came out. I knew about it 2 years before it came out.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to see that shit until like 2 months. And we still had to go to a free radio premiere 2 months in. You know what I mean? Because my mom wouldn't pay the fucking $5 to take her fucking abandoned kid to go see a fucking movie, dude. So I can wait.
So James says Clerks 3 is on Tuesday. And then Rob, Jedicris says COVID is never going away. New booster is going to be out this week though. So everybody make your appointments for your booster shots. Do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that. It's the transmission rates I'm more worried about. Like, it just needs to get under like 40 to 50 cases around here. You know, like there's a certain percentage meter that I hit, you know, that I'm like, all right, that's an acceptable, like, but right now it's fucking assholes. You know?
Yeah. Jedicris says, I ain't going to the theater. Monkeypox and COVID. Sheesh. Yeah.
I know the monkeypox thing is the weird one, man. You just touch shit. I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah, I know. That's what the thing with me. A part of me just feels like defeated with my kids going to school. Where I'm just like
100%. I got a friend whose kid went to school with an N95 mask, you know, but because there was no mask restrictions, got COVID in like a week.
That's
you know what I mean? Like,
that's 100% the problem is that it. My kids do mask up a lot, and for most of the, you know, my kids are pretty smart. They get it, and they do a lot, but the other kids don't do it. Almost none of them do. And every single day I get a report from the school that says how many cases there are, and we've never got above 5 in a day at its worst. But whenever I see it go like at 4, that's why I start going. You might be doing schoolwork from home tomorrow, but luckily we keep hitting like 3, and then it falls down to 1. So, which is still bad when I don't know how many kids are in their school, but that's you know, pretty good percentage of people. But they also won't tell you. They won't tell you if it's a kid in your kid's class. Which is that's the important thing though. Like just somebody on campus. They won't tell you if it's a teacher, if it's a janitor, if it's, you know what I mean? They won't tell you because it's just like, this isn't the same as like I got herpes or I lost a pregnancy and I don't want anybody to know. It's a different fucking thing. Why are we pretending like it's different? But we are. So fuck everything. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out with me today, Rob. And, as always. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Talk about Star Wars and therapy.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.